PlayStation Store end of year deals sale is still going, and I've already covered a couple of different topics on this sale. There's some banger deals in here, a lot of them including DLC and extra content as well, which is pretty awesome because you're getting additional value even if they aren't as cheap as they sometimes have been. This video here specifically is looking at $5 games in that $5 tier that are in this sale. Pretty much every single one of these games is worth your time and worth purchasing for $5. A game that is normally $60 down to $5 is always a good deal. Some of these are a little bit old though, so keep that in mind. Let's have a look at all the games. Hey, if you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make new videos like this every single day, looking at the latest PlayStation and trophy news. Today we're taking a look at the $5 deals in the PlayStation Store end of year deals sale that is currently going. That sale runs from the beginning of December through till the 24th of December. Keep in mind, there will be a 12 deals of Christmas sale that PlayStation normally does, and then they always have a January sale as well, New Year's sale. So there will be additional sales coming probably in the next couple of weeks, which we'll be covering on the channel too. This video here specifically is looking at $5 deals in that sale. I'm recommending a number of games that you should pick up. Let's have a look at all the $5 awesome deals. There's also a $4 version of this video coming out tomorrow. So there's even cheaper games than this as well available in the $4 tier. But let's have a look at the $5 deals now. First up, we have Titanfall 2 Hardened Edition for $5.09. I guess technically cheating slightly because it's 9 cents over, but Titanfall 2 is 100% worth your time. This is essentially Call of Duty with mechs in it. The original Titanfall game came to the Xbox as an exclusive, didn't come to PlayStation 4. The sequel did though, but it kind of got overshadowed by Call of Duty and Battlefield, which all came out within sort of a week of each other. The game really got disrespected when it launched, and it's kind of just gone into obscurity since then, but I guarantee you, if you pick this game up and play it and you're enjoying, Call of Duty games or any first-person games, you're going to love this game. It's got a great story and single-player campaign as well, which is actually really robust and meaty. It's got an online competitive mode as well, which is really cool, where you can call down mechs and battle in mechs, and it just sort of does everything that Call of Duty does well and takes all of those mechanics and kind of builds on them. Now, Titanfall 2 has been around for a couple of years now, so it probably doesn't stack up to the Call of Duties of 2020 or 2019, but fantastic first-person game if you're looking for one of those, and for $5 you absolutely cannot miss this deal. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. This is a open-world third-person action game that came out on the PlayStation 3 and then got ported to PS4, so initially it was a last-gen game, but this one is superb as well, and for $4.49 it's a great deal. Like 100% purchase this game. Basically a Grand Theft Auto game set in Hong Kong. Less focused on guns and more focused on driving and melee combat, because guns aren't very prominent in Hong Kong. Kind of stays true to the law. The game itself though is just a ton of fun. It does some stuff that even Grand Theft Auto doesn't do particularly well, with some of the driving sequences and some of the way that combat and chase sequences work in this game. One that has a great storyline as well, and something that's like highly praised but just kind of went under the radar. I think this game initially started off as a driving game, and then those mechanics got ported into this open world third-person action game, which is what it ended up becoming. Great deal for this price though. Definitely worth your time, worth checking out. Evil Within, this is the original horror game, not the sequel. This is $4.99 in the PlayStation Store. This one here has been $4.99 a number of times, so this isn't the first time it's come down to this price. It's worth keeping in mind. Evil Within is a horror game set in the lines of kind of between Resident Evil and Silent Hill. They take a bunch of really creepy horror elements and create this cool third-person action game. It's a Bethesda published game, so it feels different to the Resident Evil games because it's obviously Western produced rather than Eastern produced. But if you're into horror or the horror genre and you haven't checked this one out yet and you like Resident Evil games, then this could be for you. I found the gameplay was quite slow in comparative to some of the Resident Evil games these days as well. Maybe you're into that, maybe you're not. But if you enjoyed, say, the old PS2 era versions of those games, then I think you'll like this one too. It's got a cool story to it as well, and they made a sequel, which means that it was obviously popular enough for that to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if they make a third version of this game as well, like make it into a trilogy, just because of how the story kind of goes between the two games. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is $4.49 at the moment. This is 85% off on the PlayStation Store. I'm sure I've seen this cheap or around this price before, so it might be worth keeping in mind. $4.49 though, great game here. You've got a stealth action game. It can be played in a multiple number of different ways. The game is a cyberpunk-ish sort of game. You play as a character called Adam Jensen, and it's a future cyberpunk stealth assassin action. I don't know, I'm throwing words around because I'm kind of having a hard time explaining it, but you can choose how you tackle situations in gameplay. You can play in stealth, you can play loud, you can play like conservatively, and the game allows you to augment your character based on the playstyle you want to play as and based on how you want to play the game. So you can kind of choose how you tackle different situations and how you decide to attempt scenarios, bosses, whatever it may be, and you can play through the entire game in a particular style. It's got a pretty neat vibe to it. It's a Square Enix published game that came out, I think, in 2016, so it's a little bit old at this point as well, but great, solid quality game for $4.49, 84% off, 85% off. Little Nightmares. This is one I unfortunately haven't played yet. It's a 2D action horror game, I would say, or maybe just a 2D horror game. You play as the guy in the little yellow coat, and you have to sort of progress through the levels. Adventure is probably better. Adventure platforming type game. Puzzle solving, things like that in here, but a lot of horror elements as well. This one here has been recommended to me by my audience a number of times, and every time this game goes on sale, my audience always comments on it, and I have never mentioned it before in one of my videos, and I think it's probably worth finally mentioning because people seem to be getting upset about it. The game is 75% off. This is a Bandai Namco published game, and if you need more convincing about this one, they're getting a sequel. It's a sequel for this game is coming out early next year for the PS5, so it was popular enough to get a sequel to it as well. Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. This game was actually free earlier on in the year. WB gave it out as the stay-at-home initiative thing that they were doing, so it has been completely free. It's now $5. I mentioned Injustice 2 on one of my previous videos, and this here fits in the exact same camp as that. You've got a really solid fighting game here made by the developers of Mortal Kombat. Great game there. If you enjoyed Mortal Kombat or DC versus MK, you're going to enjoy this one. And then it's got a really, really robust superhero story attached to it as well, talking about this Injustice arc, which I believe is a comic book thing. I'm not a comic book guy, I don't know. But both Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 had fantastic cinematics and stories to go with them, to tell the stories of how the superheroes went good, bad, and whatever, and fought against each other. This game here is great. It's worth checking out. It has been free though, so keep that in mind. I feel like I recommend this one more than I probably should. Sherlock Holmes and the Devil's Daughter. This is a detective game, essentially, a third-person detective game, Sherlock Holmes game. I recommend it on the channel a number of times because it's an easy platinum trophy. It's like a 10-hour platinum, I believe. It's $4.99. Not only is it an easy platinum, but it's just a great puzzle game and adventure detective game as well. The game has really cool cinematics that change to cutscenes. It's one of those AA games that's taken so much inspiration from AAA quality content that it's actually kind of pushed itself, to the top of that sort of AA tier of content, I believe at least, and looking for an easy platinum to bump up your numbers a little bit. This one here is a really fun game that's kind of worth your time, and it's better than those sort of cheap and easy $1 platinum trophies. The original Resident Evil is also highly discounted. This is the HD remake of Resident Evil 1. This is the game that started the entire Resident Evil franchise and got us to the point we're at today. If you haven't played this one, it's almost like a piece of gaming heritage that you need to play and tick off. $5, it's a great deal. This game has been discounted to this price before a number of times though. A lot of the Resident Evil games are on sale in this sale, so if you're after a couple of different ones, you can check those out too. 75% off. Tank controlled person isometric, not even third person, isometric fixed camera. It'll bring you right back. If you're a younger viewer and you haven't played this game back in the day, this is definitely something that you should experience because it'll be like nothing you've played before. And the last game on the list is Zombie Army Trilogy. This one here I mention all the time. This is the first 3 Zombie Army games kind of combined into a single package. Really, really neat. Third-person, 4-player co-op game. If you want to play with friends, you can play some really cool co-op matches here. It's a horror game, but more of an action game, I would say. You play as different classes and basically just have to take out waves of zombies. The entire thing is built on the same engine that the Sniper Elite games were built on, though. So if you enjoyed those games and the focus on sort of melee combat and then long-range sniping and stuff like that, then the mechanics from those games are all featured in here as well. So that's pretty neat. I would say if you enjoyed those, even in the slightest, you'll enjoy this game. There you go, guys. That is 9 games that are $5 on the PlayStation Store end of year deals sale. Now I do have another video about this coming out in a day or so's time, which will be looking at games under $4 on the sale. These are going to be even cheaper. These games are even cheaper. Some of them go down to like $2, $1, and some of these games are really awesome. So if I missed something that is less than $4. That's why it's going to be included in this other video. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay tuned for that. Let me know which of these you're going to be picking up in the sale down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.